An interval can be defined as the distance between two notes. If we place a note on the staff, and we place another note on the staff, the way we determine the interval is just to count lines and spaces. 1, 2, 3. So this interval is a third. If I put them on the same line, that's called a unison. Now we call it a second. Here's a third, a fourth, a fifth, and a sixth. We count the lines and spaces. So you start with your first note, 1, that's on the line. Then we have a space, that would be 2. We have a line, that would be 3. We have a space, that would be 4. We have a line, that would be 5. And in a space, we have 6. So this interval is called a sixth. I can expand my interval to a seventh, an eighth, otherwise known as an octave. At the octave, the letter name of these two notes will be the same. This is a B, and this is a B if we're in the treble clef staff. So let's take it back through. There's octave, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, unison. And we'll take it back up. Unison, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh. 8 is octave. Ninth. Ninth is like a second, an octave above. 10th, 11, 12, and so on. So that's a really important thing, is to understand that the first part of naming an interval is just the number. It's what we call pitch class. And in determining pitch class, we're just talking about the number of lines and spaces. So for practice, let's see if you can determine the following interval. Now remember, I placed a note there, but we don't have an interval yet because there's only one note. And the definition of an interval is the distance between two notes. And on the staff, you can count them in lines and spaces. See if you can figure out what this interval is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If you said seventh, then you were correct. What is this interval? 1, 2, 3, 4. If you said fourth, you were correct. Now, intervals can have qualities: major, minor, augmented, diminished. But right now we're just talking about the numbers. And figuring out an interval, the first thing is to figure out the number, simply counting lines and spaces. Let's use the treble clef staff to further study our intervals. Beyond pitch class, let's talk about the quality of intervals. Let's start with the C major scale. If we have a C and a C, that interval is going to be a unison. Now we have a second, a third, a fourth, a fifth, a sixth, a seventh, and an octave. So let's go back and count them. That's 1. Now we have 1, 2. I have 1, 2, 3. I have 1, 2, 3, 4. Remember, we're counting lines and spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Unison, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, and octave. Let's talk about quality now. The unison is perfect. And the reason why is if you take the two notes, of course you can't see that there's two here because they're both in exactly the same spot. But if you had exactly the same note and you flipped them upside down, you would still have a unison. This is called a major second from C to D. And the reason why is we have a whole step here. C to D is a whole step. That makes a major second. So now we have C to E, and that's a major third. Now we have C to F, and that is called a perfect fourth. And now we have C to G, that's a perfect fifth. We have a C to A. And that is a major sixth. And now we have C to B. That's a major seventh. And then we have C to C, and that's a perfect octave.